Namaskar, good evening viewers. It's 9 p.m. time for the news on Sansad TV. I'm Rajiv Kumar Singh. Over the next half an hour, we will bring you the latest from the national and the international developments. First up, the headlines we are tracking at this hour. BRICS emerging as an important forum for cooperation, says Prime Minister Modi at 14th BRICS Summit, expresses gratitude for participation of member states in International Yoga Day celebration. NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu meets Vice President, Prime Minister, Home Minister and Defence Minister, will file nomination on Friday in the presence of the Prime Minister and NDA leaders. Political crisis continues in Maharashtra. Eknath Shinde claims the support of over 40 MLAs. Video of rebel MLAs released. Shiv Sena offers talks. Voting concludes for by-elections to 3 Lok Sabha seats and 7 assembly seats. Chief Minister Manik Saha contests from Tripura's town Bardowali seat. Results on 26th of June. Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra meets President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in Colombo, assures all possible help to deal with economic crisis in island nation. Let's now quickly look at some other important news of the day in our Flash News segment. BJP President JP Nadda pays a floral tribute to Dr. Syama Prasad Mukherjee on his death anniversary. India's communication satellite GSAT-24 put in orbit from Kourou in French Guiana. French company Ariane Space launched the ISRO-made satellite. Kerala High Court grants bail to convicted priest and nun in Sister Abhaya murder case. Court directs accused not to leave state. Joint entrance examination Main June 2022 held. National Testing Agency conducts the exam in 501 cities. Chinese President Xi Jinping says group politics, bloc confrontation and military alliances will lead only to wars and conflicts. Xi urges global community to oppose hegemonic practices. In response to soaring energy prices, US President Joe Biden calls Congress to suspend federal gasoline and diesel taxes for 3 months. US Federal Reserve rate hike worry causes a 3% fall in oil prices. Investors worried that rate could push US economy into recession. Will hold donor conference with India, Japan and China to tackle financial crisis. Economy completely collapsed, says Lankan Prime Minister. Indian women beat Sri Lanka by 34 runs in the first T20 played at Dambulla. Jemima Rodriguez scores 36. Radha Yadav takes 2 wickets. Indian women's recurve team enters Archery World Cup Stage 3 final, beat Turkey 5-3 in Paris. Prime Minister Modi on Thursday appealed to BRICS leaders to increase cooperation in rebuilding the economy after COVID. He was addressing the inaugural session of the virtual summit of BRICS leaders. The Prime Minister said, with changing times, cooperation among BRICS has not only increased, but the bloc has emerged as a forum for resolving issues and not just for dialogue. Apart from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro were present in this 2-day virtual summit.
वैश्विक स्तर पर महामारी का प्रकोप पहले की तुलना में कम हुआ है, लेकिन इसके अनेक दुष्प्रभाव अभी भी वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था में दिखाई दे रहे हैं। वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था की गवर्नेंस के बारे में हम ब्रिक्स सदस्य देशों का नजरिया काफी समान रहा है। और इसलिए हमारा आपसी सहयोग वैश्विक पोस्ट कोविड रिकवरी में उपयोगी योगदान दे सकता है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asserted that to fulfill dreams of New India, it is important that every citizen should have ease of access to every government scheme. He inaugurated the new premises of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Vanijya Bhavan in New Delhi on Thursday. Modi asserted that the bridge between ease of living and ease of doing business is ease of access. He added that today, India is ranked 46th in the Global Innovation Index and is continuously improving. The Prime Minister also launched the National Import-Export Record for Yearly Analysis of Trade Niryat Portal.
हमें डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर हेल्दी कंपटीशन एक्सपोर्ट की दुनिया में लानी है। हमारे मैन्युफैक्चरर के बीच में भी जीरो डिफेक्ट, जीरो इफेक्ट ऑन द वर्ल्ड क्लास पैकेजिंग, ये कंपटीशन हमको लानी है। मैं चाहूंगा कि सबके इनपुट से, सभी के सुझावों से, यानी सबका प्रयास से ही हम अपने विराट संकल्पों को सिद्ध कर सकते हैं।
The Prime Minister also planted a sapling in the premises of Vanijya Bhavan. Niryat is developed as a one-stop platform for the stakeholders to get all the necessary information related to India's foreign trade. NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu on Thursday arrived in New Delhi ahead of filing her nomination on Friday in the presence of top party leaders. Murmu called on Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu at his residence in Delhi. The NDA presidential candidate also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Later, she also called on Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Murmu was received by several BJP leaders, including State President Adesh Gupta, party MPs Manoj Tiwari and Ramesh Bidhuri, leader of opposition in Delhi Assembly, at the airport on her arrival. Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah has said that urban cooperative banks need to focus on symmetric development and adopt modern banking methods to stay in competition. He was addressing a national conclave on scheduled and multi-state urban cooperative banks and credit societies on future role of urban cooperative credit sector in New Delhi on Thursday. The minister said the cooperatives should do self-reflection and reform to improve their functioning as per the changing times.
सहकारी क्षेत्र पर शंका नहीं करनी चाहिए, ज्यादा विजिलेंट रहने की भी जरूरत नहीं है। जब बीआर एक्ट पूरा अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो यू आर वॉच डॉग, आप देखिए उसको, काय को शंका की दृष्टि से देखना चाहिए। रिस्ट्रिक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है, रिस्ट्रिक्शन को रिलैक्स कर कोऑपरेटिव बैंकों ने अपनी रिलायबिलिटी बढ़ाने की जरूरत है।
13,313 new COVID cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload currently stands at 83,990, whereas 10,972 people have recovered in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 98.60%, while active cases stand at 0.19%. Daily positivity rate is 2.03% and the weekly positivity rate is 2.81%. Voting concluded for by-polls to the 3 Lok Sabha and 7 Assembly seats across 5 states and a union territory on Thursday. The seats are spread over Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Tripura, Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand and Delhi. Voting took place in Uttar Pradesh's Azamgarh and Rampur Lok Sabha seats. The Azamgarh seat is seeing a triangular contest among BJP's Dinesh Lal Yadav, Nirahua, or a famous Bhojpuri actor-singer, SP's Dharmendra Yadav, and BSP's Shah Alam, also known as Guddu Jamali. By-polls for the Sangrur Lok Sabha seat in Punjab and had to be held following the resignation of Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann after winning the assembly election from Dhuri constituency earlier this year. In Delhi, polling was held for Rajendra Nagar seat with total 14 candidates in the fray. In Tripura, voting took place for 4 assembly seats: Borodwali Town, Agartala, Surma and Jubaraj Nagar. Chief Minister Manik Saha is among the prominent candidates contesting the by-polls. In Andhra Pradesh, Atmakor assembly seat was vacated by the sudden demise of YSR Congress MLA in February this year. In Jharkhand, Mandar assembly constituency fell vacant after Bandhu Tirke, who won the seat in 2019, was disqualified after his conviction in a disproportionate assets case. The result will be announced on 26th of June. In the political crisis that has gripped the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, the Eknath Shinde faction has claimed that it made more gains in the last 24 hours. It said that more party MLAs have joined its ranks. Eknath Shinde claims he has more than 40 MLAs, including Shiv Sena and independents. Rebel Shiv Sena MLA Sanjay Shrisat wrote to Chief Minister and Party Chief Uddhav Thackeray, claiming that the Shiv Sena MLAs were facing humiliation for 2.5 years, which prompted Shinde to go against the party leadership. Amidst the political upheaval, Shiv Sena spokesperson Sanjay Raut said the MLAs should not send messages from Guwahati but come back to Mumbai and talk.
अगर वो चाहते हैं कि महाविकास आघाड़ी से हमको बाहर जाना है तो ये बहाना है। ये बात अब हमारे सामने आकर भी कह सकते हो है कि हम उनकी बात तो सुन लेंगे। अगर पार्टी में एक मत बनता है उस बारे में जरूर हम निर्णय लेंगे।
Meanwhile, the NCP has said that the party stands firmly with Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray.
आज भी महाविकास आघाड़ी में उद्धव ठाकरे जी के साथ में हैं।
Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has said the BJP is monitoring the developments in Maharashtra.
अच्छा डिसीजन जो महाराष्ट्र स्टेट के लिए होगा वो डिसीजन वहां के हमारे लीडर देवेंद्र जी डेफिनेटली ले लेंगे.
And other news from across the country. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla honored artists with Arjuna Art Award at a program organized by the Arjuna Art Museum in Jaipur. He also appreciated the paintings of Arjun Prajapati. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met his Rwandan counterpart Vincent Biruta. Both discussed the agenda of the Commonwealth Summit and exchanged views on regional developments. The Supreme Court refused to entertain a petition seeking inclusion of 92 in-service quota seats of the 2021 NEET super speciality returned by Tamil Nadu and making them available to those candidates. India's drug regulators expert committee on COVID-19 will review the SII's application for emergency access to use the Covovax vaccine in children aged 2 to 7 years and 7 to 11 years of age. The Jammu-Srinagar National Highway remained closed for the third day due to heavy rains and landslides. Efforts are on to rescue the vehicles stuck on the closed highway. Now let us look at some stories from the world of business and economy. The UN World Food Programme says nearly 9 out of 10 families are forced to go hungry to bed in crisis-hit Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe admitted that the economy had hit rock bottom. The Sri Lankan rupee has weakened in value by nearly 80% to about 360 rupees to $1. The United Nations has issued a worldwide appeal for assistance. In what comes as a major relief for Pakistan's dwindling economy, China agreed to provide $2.3 billion as part of a loan facility agreement. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari thanked China for the support. In a related development, agency reported have quoted residents of Gilgit-Baltistan expressing fears that Pakistan may cede territory to China to pay off its mounting debts. Any such move could trigger a fresh crisis in the region. Since Gilgit-Baltistan is part of Pakistan-occupied territory, further it lies right on the trail of the China-Pakistan economic corridor and could be a boon for China's South Asian expansion. Both Sensex and Nifty jumped nearly 1%, with Maruti's stocks rising by nearly 6%. Mahindra and Mahindra, Asian Paints and Bharti Airtel also made profits, whereas Reliance's market value dropped by nearly 1.62%. Elsewhere in Asia, stock markets in Hong Kong, Shanghai and Tokyo ended with gains, while Seoul settled lower. European markets were trading in the red in mid-session deals. Time for a break here. On the other side, we will visit a restaurant in Sydney where the staff is not practicing what is said, but the customers keep coming for the abuse.
Get here by tram. Are you done?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and how about this? You're just going to waste all that food.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Do you want wings?
Tantra has not been always very clearly understood. Tantra has often been misunderstood. There are wrong impressions about Tantra. We will learn a little bit more about Tantra.
What is the tantric worldview? The tantric worldview is basically, it roots itself with the notion of cosmic biunity. There is Shiva, self-luminous, and then you have Shakti. Shakti is responsible for creation, for the manifestation of the entire universe. What the tantric devotee does, is really to centralize the fragmented energies into the central channel of his yogic body.
डॉक्टर विवेक देबरॉय के साथ इतिहास में इस बार देखिए तंत्र मुक्ति का विज्ञान, आज रात 9:30 बजे सिर्फ संसद टीवी पर।
Welcome back. Time now for all the main developments from the Russia-Ukraine war front. The European Parliament has adopted a resolution that calls on heads of state to grant EU candidate status to Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova without delay. They should do the same with Georgia once its government has delivered on the priorities indicated by the European Commission, the Parliament said. The resolution was passed with 529 votes in favor, 245 against and 14 abstentions. Russia's defense ministry says it used high-precision weapons to hit Ukrainian army fuel tanks and military equipment near the southern city of Mykolaiv. Mykolaiv mayor said that the loud explosions were heard in the city and called on residents to seek shelter. High-mobility artillery rocket system from the United States has arrived in Ukraine. And the Ukrainian defense minister has said in a message on the Telegram service, he thanked the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin for the weapons. U.S. sportswear maker Nike is making a full exit from Russia 3 months after suspending operations there. Nike had said on March 3rd that it would temporarily suspend operations at all its Nike-owned and operated stores in Russia in response to Moscow's actions in Ukraine, adding that those still open were operated by independent partners. The United Kingdom has introduced a new tranche of trade sanctions against Russia. A notice on its website listed new measures including prohibitions on the export to Russia and other technology, the export of jet fuel and the export of sterling or EU-dominated banknotes. Turkey said it is taking seriously claims that Ukrainian grains was stolen by Russia and is investigating the allegations. In a joint news conference with British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss in Ankara, the Turkish foreign minister said Turkey would not allow grains stolen by Russia or any other country to be brought in Turkey. Time now for some other global updates. Prime Minister Modi has condoled the deaths in the devastating earthquake in Afghanistan. He said India is ready to provide all assistance. Meanwhile, rescue workers are still struggling through rugged terrain and ruins to find the extent of the destruction among the villages tucked in the mountains.
The powerful earthquake that struck a rugged mountainous region of eastern Afghanistan early on Wednesday flattened stone and mud brick homes and killed at least 1,000 people. The disaster posed a new test for Afghanistan's Taliban rulers and relief agencies already struggling with the country's multiple humanitarian crises. The quake was Afghanistan's deadliest in 2 decades, and officials said the toll could rise further. An estimated 1,500 people were injured. At least 2,000 homes were destroyed in the region, where on average every household has 7 or 8 people living in it. The quake was centered in Paktika province, about 50 kilometers southwest of the city of Khost. The roads, which are rutted and difficult to travel in the best of circumstances, may have been badly damaged, and landslides from recent rains made access even more difficult. The European Seismological Agency said the quake was felt over 500 kilometers by 119 million people across Afghanistan, Pakistan and India. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And another news from across the world. Lawmakers in Bulgaria approved a no-confidence motion against the country's minority coalition government that could topple the centrist prime minister. The centre-right opposition party, GERB, filed the motion last week, accusing the government of mishandling economic policy and failing to tackle soaring inflation. The no-confidence vote passed 123 to 116 with no abstentions. The Bulgarian president will hold consultations with parliamentary parties that can try to form a new majority government. Kuwait's crown prince dissolved parliament on Wednesday and called for an election. The date for legislative election was not immediately announced. The country's cabinet resigned 2 months ago over disputes with parliament, resulting in a prolonged paralysis. Nearly 150 volunteers arranged 50,000 candles in St. Petersburg early on Wednesday to commemorate the 81st anniversary of Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union. The installation comprises several symbolic images depicted various landmarks, including the Admiralty and the Nava Triumphal Arch. Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, a massive invasion of the Soviet Union on 22nd of June 1941. With 3,417 confirmed monkeypox cases reported across 58 countries, World Health Network has declared the current monkeypox outbreak a pandemic. It said the outbreak is rapidly expanding across multiple continents and will not stop without concerted global action. The WHO announcement comes ahead of WHO meeting to decide on their monkeypox outbreak designation. The annual anti-abortion rally in California's capital sounded more like a victory celebration as the speakers expressed a growing sense of optimism that their long-sought goal, a sweeping rollback of abortion rights in America, was finally in reach. Hundreds of protesters rallied in the intense Sacramento heat, praising the U.S. Supreme Court, which has indicated it will allow states to impose tighter restrictions on abortion, with a ruling which could come any day. The staff is rude and the service appalling. The manager nowhere to be found, but the customers love it. At Karen's Diner in Sydney, it is all about great burgers and the customer is always a wrong style of service.
At Karen's Diner in Sydney, the service gets from bad to worse as soon as you walk through the door. Rude waiters, scowl and cheek customers.
Look, you can take it when you're ready. Yeah, just come get it. Yeah, it's going to be nice and warm over there.
And that's the whole point.
Cool, so take it. Take the burger. Don't touch me.
Created in October 2021, the diner's concept is based on the expression, "You are such a Karen," a term that reportedly describes a person who complains about everything and anything.
A lot of Sydney restaurants are very pretentious. You're dressing up, you're doing your please and thank yous. To come here is quite refreshing. You can really be yourself, or be the evil version of yourself.
The venue has been so successful that it already had to expand to accommodate the bookings. The staff does have to follow basic rules, including not mocking disabilities, not making racist comments, or being sexist. And that goes both ways. If customers become too abusive, they can be asked to leave.
Are you done?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and how about this? You're just going to waste all that food.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Do you want wings?
As far as the staff is concerned, their level of abuse, expertise is way out of reach for the customers.
Would you like me to sound these ones out for you too?
In the end, the customers come mainly for one thing, the abuse, all the way to bill paying time.
You're the broke friend, right?
Yeah, look at him.
Don't use it all at once.
What is it?
What do you think it is? It's your bill. Yeah, you should pay it back.
Well, I will. I'm about to transfer.
I don't know about that. $82. Just press OK up the top and then press yes. It'll come up. And then yes. Okay, so you are broke too. Great. No, you look at, I just gave you the benefit of the doubt.
Much cheaper than going
But
to my
they do
nomination.
agree the food is good, and there is also a positive surprise on the menu. If you can prove your name is actually Karen, you get a free drink.
Go. Get out. Don't come back. Get hit by a tram.
Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Time now for all the sporting action. Starting with the hockey, the Indian women's hockey team will produce a dominating performance to outlast USA 4-0 in the second leg match to finish a creditable third in its debut season at the FIH Pro League in Rotterdam on Wednesday. The Indians had earlier defeated USA 4-2 in the first match. In football, a spirited show by the Indian women's football team went in vain as an injury time goal helped Sweden post a 1-0 win in the three-nation under-23 tournament. Midfielder Lynn Vickers scored the solitary goal in the 96th minute to help Sweden earn the victory. India's ace sprinter Dutti Chand has spoken out in favor of the transgender athletes. Dutti has said that it is unfair on the part of the sports administrators to stop transgender women athletes from competing just because others can't digest their success at the elite level. In cricket, Madhya Pradesh were 123 for 1 in reply to Mumbai's first innings of 374 all-out at stumps on day 2 of Ranji Trophy final being played at Bengaluru. MP trailed Mumbai by 251 runs. For Mumbai, Sarfaraz Khan was the star performer. In the first innings, Sarfaraz scored 134. In tennis, Serena Williams stepped up her comeback at the American Star, powered to a second successive victory in the Eastbourne doubles with her partner Ons Jabeur. Williams and Tunisia's Jabeur defeated Shoko Aoma and Chan Hao Chin 6-2, 6-4. That's all we have in this bulletin. To keep yourself updated, stay tuned to Sansad TV.